Hey, welcome back. My name's Jason Melnick with JSD Voiceovers, and this is my voice acting journey, day 2. So if you watched the first episode or if it's your first time watching my channel, welcome, and thanks for joining me. It's pretty straightforward if you haven't watched the first episode or the first video that I made. I'm just going through some scripts here. I'm new to the voice acting scene, just getting started. Basically, no experience whatsoever. So I'm just reading off a few sample scripts, playing with it, and occasionally thinking out loud or sharing a little bit of information that I picked up during my research. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward. And so again, welcome. And if you like what you see here, you get something out of it, maybe you could subscribe and press the like button. But either way, I'm just happy you're here. So let's get into it. So the first video I made, I told everyone about voicereels.com. That's where I'm getting my scripts. It's a pretty cool website. They do more than just the scripts, I think. I haven't really looked into the rest of their website, but they do have a bunch of sample voice acting scripts. Anything from commercials to narrations to video game characters or characters for film and TV. Like animation, So there's a lot of different scripts on here, and so I've just been getting them off this website because they only take about maybe 10 to 30 seconds to read off. They're pretty well written, so you can kind of get a general tone, a general idea for how the script should be, approached and acted. And yeah, so I'm going to start out with some commercials. We're going to do this one. I was looking at it. It's called Family Fables, and I'm pretty sure this was written for a child, but I already wrote it down and I chose it, and I gave it a Laban effort, which is flicking. So flicking would be light, indirect, and sudden. So, yeah, it's probably best that a kid would read this off, but also I can try doing a kid voice and see how well that works. Maybe get a few laughs out of it, but we'll see. All right, here we go. So starting out, we're going to do it with the finger in the mouth. So if you didn't watch the first video, I'm putting my finger in my mouth because Laura Bailey, I looked up her name after that first video, but I watched an interview with her and she said that it helps with articulation if the first time you read the script, to do it with your finger in your mouth probably just helps like keep your mouth open, keep you from mumbling, which I have a tendency to do. So here we go. Yesterday, I was an astronaut traveling to the moon and back to save Earth from an alien invasion. Today, I'm a scientist experimenting in the lab to find a cure. Dad, don't drink that! And tomorrow I can be anything I want to be. Personalized books put me at the heart of the story. Visit personalpages.com to put your family in a fable today. Okay, so that's just kind of straight. I'll try a kid. I got to experiment with some voices here for a second. I'm going to take a sip of water because my mouth is kind of dry today. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, sir. Hey. Oh. Oh, it's like in my head. Yesterday I was yeah. Well, yeah. Kind of, I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to do. I've never really practiced that. The first time on camera. See, I feel like it would be kind of a little insecure, maybe, but he's excited, and he's telling he got to keep them. He's really excited. Yeah. Yesterday, I was an astronaut traveling to the moon and back to save Earth from an alien invasion. Today, I'm a scientist. No, I don't think. Yeah, it's a voice. Would anybody cast me for that? Probably not. So I think I'm going to do it with the childlike energy, but my normal voice. So, yesterday let's try that again. Yesterday I was an astronaut traveling to the moon and back to save Earth from an alien invasion. Today, I'm a scientist experimenting in the lab to find a cure. Dad, don't drink that. And tomorrow I can be anything I want to be. Personalized books put me at the heart of the story. Visit personalpages.com to put your family in a fable today. Okay, so we'll cross that one off. And we'll move on because I feel just not really resonating with that one so much. So we're going to go do Charity Check, which is a website or an app or something. It's a business that supposedly checks charities. If they're legit. Are they legit? I don't know. There we go. Charity check. Okay, so charity check. With the finger. Okay. Let's read it. With so many charities to choose from, that's a little concerned, huh? I'm just so concerned about these guys getting screwed over by these charities. Okay. With so many charities to choose from, it's difficult knowing whether your donation is really helping those in need or simply paying a CEO's salary. That's why there's Charity Check. Charity Check investigates major and local charities. We find out how much of your donation goes to the cause and how much of it goes to operational costs. Based on our research, you can rest easy knowing exactly how your donation is being used. Donate wisely with Charity Check. Okay, so two things. One, I forgot to mention, I wrote down gliding for this one. So gliding is light, direct, and sustained. So that's that. So it's kind of the Laban effort that I'm going for, I guess. My voice has been cracking a lot lately. And then I think I stiffen up my voice a lot. Probably because I'm just getting used to this. Maybe I'm a little high strung right now. So wasn't so much yesterday, but today I just feeling a little off. Anyway, so yeah, that's the Laban effort. The other thing was I was listening to some videos yesterday, and one of the guys mentioned that beginner voice actors typically will read scripts the same way every time. Not so much like the same voice, but the same cadence. So I notice I do have this tendency to read it like, well, ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba da da ba da ba da ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba da, and it's like that same sort of like doom da doom da doom da. It's like a basic 1 1 2 3 4, right? It's just like doom ba doom ba doom ba da ba da boom. Doom ba doom ba doom ba da ba da boom ba da boom. You know? So he was saying that it's good to read a script at different cadences, or just like try to, even if it's not good, even if it doesn't come out right, it's good to just like mix things up a little bit. So that's what I'm going to try to do with this one, but I'm going to read it straight one more time. With so many charities to choose from, it's difficult knowing whether your donation is really helping those in need or simply paying a CEO's salary. That's why there's Charity Check. Charity Check investigates major and local charities. We find out how much of your donation goes to the cause and how much of it goes to operational costs. Based on our research, you can rest easy knowing exactly how your donation is being used. Donate wisely with Charity Check. I kind of want to do it straight one more time just because I didn't feel good about that's why there's Charity Check. Felt like that was kind of soft, so try it again. With so many charities to choose from, it's difficult knowing whether your donation is really helping those in need or simply paying a CEO's salary. That's why there's Charity Check. Charity Check investigates major and local charities. We find out how much of your donation goes to the cause and how much of it goes to operational costs. Based on our research, you can rest easy knowing exactly how your donation is being used. Donate wisely with Charity Check. Okay, so now I'm going to try to speed it up just for fun. See what happens. With so many charities to choose from, it's difficult knowing whether your donation is really helping those in need or simply paying a CEO's salary. That's why there's Charity Check. Charity Check investigates major and local charities. We find out how much of your donation goes to the cause and how much of it goes to operational costs. Based on our research, you can rest easy knowing exactly how your donation is being used. Donate wisely with Charity Check. It's kind of more robotic, huh? It sounds a little bit more like donate wisely with Charity Check. Okay, so don't really feel amazing about that one, but I don't really feel that amazing today. So, but that happens, you know. Sometimes you got some on days and sometimes you got some off days, and today's kind of feeling like an off day. But I'm in it. I'm still doing it, so we're going on to the next one. We're moving on to narration now. No more commercials. We did our 2 commercials. And the reason why my iPad, like I pressed the button like 15 times. That's how you know I'm not in the greatest mood today. I'm yelling at my iPad. So the reason why I'm doing 2 commercials instead of just 1 is because I feel like most of the work as a beginner voice actor that a person might get will be something that has to do with some kind of ad read. And so I feel like having 2 commercials instead of just 1. I'm also doing technically 2 narrations, but one's specifically for an audiobook and one is more geared toward like documentary or, you know. So a little similar, but, you know, a little different, I guess. But the reason why I'm doing 2 commercials is so that, you know, I have that muscle flexed a little bit more so that when I haven't been putting out auditions yet, I'm more focused on just getting into a routine right now. And so when I do start putting out auditions for ad reads and stuff, I feel like if I double up on the commercials, then I'll have a little bit more success with landing an ad read. So that's the reason why. But other than that, and I try to keep it different. If you watch the first video, then you know that I did one that was like a little bit more deep register, and then I think I did another one that was a little bit more kind of like a little bit more lighter. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Essential to survival. There it is. Essential to survival. All right, here we go. So this one is about vitamin D. So it's like more kind of like a info, like science documentary type. It's got facts and stuff, lots of facts. All right, here we go. So I'm going to read this straight the first time. But as I was reading it, I had this thought. It's like, what if I tried doing it in like a Vsauce style? If you ever watch Vsauce on YouTube, he's that guy. He's just very high energy. He's got the glasses, very high energy, and he's very excited to tell you about all these facts. And so, not that I can do a Vsauce impersonation. I'm just thinking like, what if I try to do it in a similar energy as him? So I might try that too with this one. All right. Vitamin D, famed for fortifying bones. This is like my very professor. Like, okay, let's do that. Yeah, why not? Let's have fun with it a little bit. How do you turn a bad day to a good day? You just get a little silly. Vitamin D, famed for fortifying bones, boosting happiness, and being overall pretty good for us. But did you know that it is responsible for the efficiency of over 200 chemical pathways in our immune system? This makes it essential to survival beyond the aforementioned pleasantries, so we, especially those distant from the equator, better keep tabs on whether or not we're getting enough throughout the day. Around 50% of the world is low on vitamin D during summer and spring. So imagine how bad it gets during winter. Pretty bad, I'm assuming. All right. I'm going to read it straight this time, just to have that. Vitamin D, famed for fortifying bones, boosting happiness, and being overall pretty good for us. That's not the greatest way to say that. Vitamin D, famed for fortifying bones, boosting happiness, and being overall pretty good for us. But did you know that it is responsible for the efficiency of over 200 chemical pathways in our immune system? This makes it essential to survival beyond the aforementioned pleasantries, so we, especially those distant from the equator, better keep tabs on whether or not we're getting enough throughout the day. Around 50% of the world is low on vitamin D during summer and spring, so imagine how bad it gets during the winter. Just imagine it. I mean, it's got to get pretty bad. All right, so we're going to do Vsauce now. All right. Let's see. I mean, he's a little bit kind of higher in the register, I think, right? But that's okay. I'll just try to match his energy. All right. Vitamin D, famed for fortifying bones, boosting happiness, and being overall pretty good for us. But did you know that it is responsible for the efficiency of over 200 chemical pathways in our immune system? This makes it essential to survival beyond the aforementioned pleasantries, so we, especially those distant from the equator, better keep tabs on whether or not we're getting enough throughout the day. Around 50% of the world is low on vitamin D during summer and spring. So imagine how bad it gets during the winter. All right, that's the Vsauce one. I don't know if I matched his energy. I feel that was pretty good. I was like, like getting a little excited. I'm excited about vitamin D. I'm so excited. But no, all love goes out to Vsauce. So I've watched a few of his videos. They're pretty good. And he does get you excited about science and facts. All right. That's that one. I'm going to knock that off the list because I just want to kind of knock these out today. Evergreen Mills. Evergreen Mills. Evergreen Mills. Give me your evergreen. Evergreen Mills. It was an audiobook. That's right. This is the historical audiobook. It's about something about the Civil War or something. Evergreen Mills. Maybe I could do it in an accent. Why not? Try it out. Here we go. Evergreen Mills. In the early... Okay, right. So, if you couldn't tell, I was doing a impersonation of a old storyteller, just recounting his days in the Civil War. And so I'm going to do that again. In the 19th century, Evergreen Mills was a thriving village at the junction of Ivory Creek and the James River. The mills there provided lumber for nearby farms and processed local crops of corn and wheat. Village life was simple and serene, but that would soon change with the onset of the Civil War. All right, let's do it straight. In the early 19th century, Evergreen Mills was a thriving village at the junction of Ivory Creek and the James River. The mills there provided lumber for nearby farms and processed local crops of corn and wheat. Village life was simple and serene, but that would soon change with the onset of the Civil War. All right, I'm going to do an old hardened war veteran recounting his time at Evergreen Mills. In the 19th century, Evergreen Mills was a thriving village at the junction of Ivory Creek and the James River. The mills there provided lumber for nearby farms and processed local crops of corn and wheat. Village life was simple and serene, but that would soon change with the onset of the Civil War. Yes. I'm going to do it one more time because I just had this thought as I was doing it. There's this old video. I think the name of the channel was like Dr. Tran or something. I hadn't watched a lot of their videos. It was like an animated thing, but they had a bunch of different like silly, humorous videos on there on YouTube, and I think they posted on like E-Bombs World or something. I don't know. This was back in the day, back in the beginnings of YouTube. And there was one, it was, what was it? Dr. Tran's Dickables. It was so good. The Hickory McDickory Dickable. Yes, so I'm going to do that voice. I'm going to talk about Evergreen Mills as a Dickable. Have you ever had Dr. Tran's Dickables? So this might be a little bit more energetic. But, we're going to try it different this time. Here we go. Evergreen Mills. In the 19th century, Evergreen Mills was a thriving village at the junction of Ivory Creek and the James River. The mills there provided lumber for nearby farms and processed local crops of corn and wheat.
Village life was simple and serene, but that would soon change with the onset of the Civil War.
A little bit more. Whoa.
And they also eat a lot of dickables. So go out and buy your Dr. Tran's dickables. Hickory McDickory dickables. Yes, all right, we'll just cross that one off the list.
All right, so we're on to characters. So the last one. I'm going to have to get loud for these ones. I can do the orc one.
Glory of battle.
Or, you know what? Stirling Bridge. That one's so hard because I need to practice my Scottish accent, but maybe I'll just do it anyways because that's how I'll practice my Scottish accent. And probably screw up a ton because the way the script is written is supposed to be it's written like for the phonetics of talking in a Scottish accent. So it's not written in actual English. It's written in like how you would write out the Scottish dialect, basically. So I'll give you an example once I find it. There it is. All right, so the example here, they have it written out in the bottom in the actual English. So the script is, we didn't choose to fight here. Yeah, we didn't choose to fight here at Stirling Bridge for no reason. The bridge is narrow and wooden, so the English will be forced to cross in small groups, and they'll find us waiting on the other side. They think we're brutes, but we'll win this with cunning. So that's the actual script. Now, this is how it's written to accommodate for the fact that it's meant to be done in like a very thick Scottish accent. We didnae choose to fight here at Stirling Brig for no reason. The brig is narrow and wooden, so the English will be forced to cross in wee bands, and they'll find us biting on the either side. They think we're not but brutes, but we'll win this wee cunning. Not cunning, actually. Cunnin. Drop the G. So, forgive me if I redo this multiple times, and, and this is not going to be a good Scottish accent. So you can go ahead and lower your expectations down to like 0. All right, here we go. I gotta get into the accent. The one word that helps me is the brutes. There we go. The brutes. I like those trills. Those are fun. Brutes. We didn't choose to fight here at Stirling Brig for no reason. The brig is narrow and wooden, so the English will be forced to cross in wee bands, and they'll find us biting on the either side. They think we're not but brutes, but we'll win this with cunning. So, okay. Not bad, actually. I got stuck on either side, because it's not other, it's I-T-H-E-R. Either side. Either. Oh, there we go, that's it. Either. Okay. We didn't choose to fight here at Stirling Brig for no reason. The brig is narrow and wooden, so the English will be forced to cross in wee bands, and they'll find us biting on the going from thee to either. is hard. Try to do that. The other side. Maybe I notice I'm doing a lot of the trills too, so I could probably clean that up. But we didn't choose to fight here at Stirling Brig for no reason. The brig is narrow and wooden, so the English, sometimes my tongue just wants to do it. The English, we didn't choose to fight here at Stirling Brig for no reason. The brig is narrow and wooden, so the English wouldn't be forced to cross in wee bands. And they'll find us baiting on the either side. Maybe I should do that. Just do it slow. We didn't choose to fight here at Stirling Brig for no reason. The brig is narrow. I want to do the trill on that because it's double R. Narrow in wooden, so the English will be forced to cross in wee bands, and they'll find us biting on the other side. They think we're not but brutes, but we'll win this. We're cunning. We're cunning. I watched a short clip of an interview with Gerard Butler, and he was talking about how the I's and the O's in Scottish, so where like in American English we would say good, Scottish would say good, well that's good. And then with the I's, I think we would say he used light. So English is just like, not English, but American English is just light. Where they say light, like light. So there's like that upward inflection. So I'm going to try one more time. And then I think I'm going to call it because we're at 36 minutes here. And yeah, whether I butchered it or not, here we go. We didn't choose to fight here at Stirling Brig for no reason. The brig is narrow and wooden, so the English will be forced to cross in wee bands, and then they'll find us biting on the either side. They think we're not but brutes, but we'll win this wee cannon. Not bad. Kind of like the dwarf rogue, you know? Like a little dwarf rogue. Dungeons and Dragons or in like an RPG, you know? He's got this thick Scottish accent, but he's kind of like a little bit like breathy. Little breathy. Not so like, oh, you know? But, all right. So that's pretty much it. That's all the scripts I wanted to go through today. It's about a little over 30 minutes of practice, but it's better than not practicing at all. And yeah, I'm glad that you could join me today, whoever's watching, and appreciate you taking the time if you made it to the end of the video. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, always helps. Not really looking to like blow up or anything. I'm just doing this to keep myself regular with the practicing, and also maybe it'll help somebody out there if they're trying to start out in voice acting. They want to see somebody who's going through the process themselves and is also a beginner. So anyways, until next time, all the best and God bless. Peace.